Um, I was telling Mr. Baxley, this is the meeting that William Pierce usually does on Wednesday. He wrote me this morning, his kids have a dental emergency, so they had to go to the dentist. I said, okay, I'm going to think about something cool to talk about. And I happened to see a post on Facebook from Greg Horton. Greg Horton's from Providence, Rhode Island. He's got several schools up there. Used to be with Paul Garcia. In fact, when Paul Garcia sold his school to move down to me or work with me, Greg Horton's the one who bought that school. He just had a really cool post. He just talked about making $1 million, how some people can do it fast, some people can do it slow, but a lot of people are going to end up making it. And it just reminded me of a way that I used to help the bakers in Arizona set some new goals one year. So I kind of thought I would go over that with you today. So let me share my screen. So the whole idea with this is we're starting to think about 2019 coming up. What can we do with our financial goals? I know some clients that I've talked to keep really good statistics. Other ones are a little bit sloppy on their statistics. A lot of times it's easy to go back and say, okay, I did this much this year, and that's really good. And they said, divide it by 12, and then all of a sudden, oh, man, I'm not reaching the goals in November. Like David says, he's got 7 in November. It's good. It's not great, but you can't compare it to every other month. You have to compare it to November. That's what we call weighted averages. Weighted averages would be like the average of what I do in January. Over the last 5 years, I know exactly what January looks like and what February looks like because they're not equal. Some months are just greater. I always talk about February through April just being the best time of year for enrolling new students. It's just sometimes twice as better as any of the months of the year because people are kind of been inside for the winter time. They want to make some changes. They need something different, and they look for something for the kids to do, and they end up at your martial arts school. But I just kind of want to talk about just financial goals in general. When I teach a technique, I'm calling this teaching 101. I get up in front of the class, I explain what we're doing, I demonstrate it, and then I ask the students to do it. You've done this probably 100,000 times yourself. When I ask them to do it, some students can do it, some students can't do it. And then I look to myself and I go, well, do I just correct the people who can't do it? I go, probably not. I've explained it once. I didn't get great results. Some people couldn't do it. So I'm going to take responsibility. I'm going to explain it in a different way. I'm going to break it down a different way. And we're going to demonstrate it again and then ask the students to do it and see how they did. And now usually the second time around, you're going to get some great results. So you're not making one or two corrections. You just explain it differently, break it down a little bit differently, and all of a sudden you get some different results. When I talk about financial goals, I find sometimes it works really good just to set, hey, we're going to do 10% last month, but then there's other ways to set financial goals, and this one is all about power goals. Power goals are your financial goals. You teach power in your martial arts classes. When you teach martial arts and you ask for people to power, what you're looking for is the weight behind it and the speed behind it. So in other words, if someone throws a punch and they throw it really fast, it's going to have more power than if someone throws a punch at a slow speed. Well, financial goals are done the same way. It's mass, which is really dollar amount, times time, which is compared to like speed. So it's really the same thing. A financial goal and power goals are similar. One has to do with amounts of money and time. The other one has to do with just mass and speed. So when I start thinking, you can gross, in other words, say I want to have a little competition with one of you, and I say, okay, let's see, let's both earn $1 million. Well, if you're doing $20,000 a month for 4 years and 2 months, you're going to make $1 million. If someone else can gross $100,000 a month for 10 months, they're also going to earn $1 million. Steve Butts, who's one of my clients. He's in Milton, Florida. He's got 3 schools. He's got 1,000 students, 500 after school. Well, he does $250,000 a month. So he's going to make $1 million also, but he does it in 4 months. So today I want to kind of set our goals, not just by the dollar amount, but by the time it takes to make that dollar amount. So really you have 2 goals along with that, because again, we talk about power with mass times speed. First number is the gross, and the second number is how long it takes to make that gross. This is what happened with Tom Baker. He was grossing $20,000 per month. I believe that was about the time. $20,000 a month. I might have been doing a little more, and I just challenged him. I said, you can really believe, I mean, you've done this several times. You know you can do $20,000. He goes, yeah, I can do 20,000. Do you think you can do a little bit faster? He goes, what do you mean? I go, well, instead of by the 30th or the 31st of the month, can you do it by the 26th of the month? And that was like his first like really test. And I really liked it because he had the belief that he could do it. And then all of a sudden I just challenged him, okay, just do what you're always doing, but just do it a little bit faster. Beat it by a few days, which he started to doing with his kids. And all of a sudden he started making that, and he really, really got excited. He'd call me up and, hell, guess what? He goes, it's only the 26th, and I'm already at 20 grand. Well, now he ends up the month with like 23 grand. So I said, okay, you did 23 grand. Okay, it only took you 30 days. Do you think you can do it in 28? So every time we set a goal, we set an additional goal was just time. Can you do it faster? If you were more motivated, you watched your numbers quicker, you didn't struggle at the end, could you make a difference? I was working with a client yesterday, and that was the 27th of the month. So he had 4 days left, and he still wanted to get 10 grand. He needed 10 grand to make his gross. And he's really, really trying to fight at the end. And I start thinking, man, if he had just set his goals differently, and all of a sudden he would have started earlier trying to make up that deficit, it would have been much easier for him to set his goals. So I think the whole challenge with this talk is to see what you're doing, not think about increasing it, but again, just doing it faster. And sit down with your team and say, okay, we want to do the same type of gross, but we want to make it quicker. What can we do? So again, it's a totally different mindset. So things that I would think of is when I first start out the month, I want to get more paid in fulls. So I may get a little more aggressive on my incentive. I may not even ask people to finance it. I may just say, okay, our 6-month program is $995. How would you like to handle that? And just have them assume that they're going to do it with a credit card. I mean, I've done that in the past when you go to a store. I'm looking at a guy who's working my yard right now. He's planting a hedge. When he's done with the hedge, he's going to come in. He's going to go, you owe me $500. He's not going to say you can finance it yourself or I can do the financing. He's expecting me to give him $500. So if I want to get my money faster, I may not even mention financing. I'm just going to ask the student for the money and just see how that happens. Now, if it goes, well, I didn't know I was going to have to pay it all today. I said, well, how would you like to handle that? And then if he goes, well, I can give you half today. I go, okay, half today and half next month. But the point is the way you ask for money at the beginning. Now, if you got to a point and that student goes, well, I would have done this, but I just assumed you paid monthly, I can always back down and do that. But again, I want to be a little more persistent in my goal of getting the money early if I want to do it faster. I may just want to increase my deposits. I know a lot of schools say, well, I'm going to do $195 and then do monthly payments. Well, maybe you're going to ask for first and last. Maybe first and last now is going to give you $300 down. Well, you're getting $300 down earlier in the month. That's a good way to hit your financial goal faster. Maybe the way you're doing packages. I know there's kind of two ways of doing packages. Some people throw in the package with the down payment. Some people say, well, this is the equipment that you're going to need. It's really important that you get the equipment within the first 30 days. Well, if I wanted to make my money faster in the month, I want to make sure I sell more packages and I get more people to do the packages. So I'm going to work on my presentation skills and tell everyone, this is the equipment you need to be successful in martial arts. It's different than other sports. It's not like bowling or soccer where it's going to be costing you, hundreds and hundreds of dollars for your equipment. In fact, the only thing you need in our school is you want to make sure your hands protected, your feet are protected, your head's protected. And this gear, along with the gear package, not the gear package, but the equipment package, the equipment bag is only $149. And you get $10 off if you pick it up today. So just the way I present the packages. Early events, prepaying for events early. Another thing is, I know a lot of schools, when they sign up a student and they sign them up at the 18th of the month, it's okay, you're paying your deposit today. Your next month payment will be due on the 18th, 30 days from today. Well, you don't have to do that. You can say your payments can either be made on the 1st or the 5th, which is best for you. So now they're giving you a deposit on the 18th. Their money from their next payment's coming on the 1st or the 5th. You're getting your money earlier in the month. That's another way to do it faster. Once you start doing it faster, now again, you can start getting a different belief system because your total month's grosses, you're going to have more references, and then the whole idea is to repeat the same type of action. Next thing I want to kind of talk about, do we have any questions on that? On just the whole concept and the belief system?
I have a feedback, sir. Just yesterday, this is all of your teaching. A guy came in and wanted to do the paid in full for 1 year, 1995. Then he inquired about the 24 months. And of course, he's Mexican, so they do a lot of it paid in full type things. And so he inquired about the 24 months and then went for the cheaper option of $19.95. Then I gave him that 6 months option and broke it down with the $2,000 deposit. I guess what I'm getting at is you just got to be creative and somewhat persistent, and with the thought that this is better for you as the client. And so he liked that idea. He's rethinking his options and will let us know. So we're going to go from $2,000 to $4,680.
Wow, very, very nice.
Yeah.
So you're not going to count that as your. By the way, everyone, Sal's kind of in the head right now for his goal for his holiday party. His holiday party wasn't a one-day sale, but it was continuous before, and he's running a little bit later. He's up to almost $65,000 now on his holiday sale. He originally said,
yeah, it's going to be about, if he does that, it's going to be about 66, 67 now.
Okay. So a little over, his goal was $100,000. He still has through the Christmas holidays, so there's a good chance he's going to make $100,000 during his holiday special. So good job.
But last year's number was only 20, yep. Right? So that's a mind shift change of 3 times as much, and it's all just thinking, hey, I could do better than the year before, and setting bigger goals. And there it is, being proved. And the main thing was your idea of 2 + 1. That's where most people are buying into it.
So guys, I've talked to I think everyone on that. That 2 + 1 is if you pay 2 years in advance, you get your third year free. So just to prevent that, it's a $4,800 paid in full. So I think he's done 11 of those between both the schools now. So,
but I think what made it easier for parents is that 3-month pay option, and then I even go up to 6 months with some people who are having some difficulties paying for it. At the end of the day, I get it all in 6 months. Who cares?
Yeah, we also talked about that too, because that's actually a benefit for you for the taxes you have to pay. You're going to have to pay less taxes this year. You just deferring that because the money's not coming into you into 2019. So,
Yeah.
all good. Just kind of change subject for a little since we're talking about 2019, maybe finding a different way to set our goals. I looked over my notes of what I did last year at this time. Last year, this time, I spoke a lot about Lighthouse Marketing. I know there's a couple people I don't really know what Lighthouse Marketing is. The whole idea is comparing a lighthouse to a tugboat. Most schools market like a tugboat. A tugboat's in the harbor. It's got to chug out. It's got to go to a ship. It's got to use all that power, all that fuel. It's got to tie up to the ship, bring it back, trying to get through the harbor safely, bring that ship to a dock, untie it, make sure it's safe, and then go out and get another one. A lot of people do marketing like that for students. Other people do it like a lighthouse. A lighthouse does two things. One, it just shines, and then it's stationary. People are attracted to the lighthouse. The boats are attracted to the lighthouse for safe harbor. So we start thinking of our martial arts school. What can we do as a martial arts school to attract people? So it's not like we have to go out and go after everyone all the time, but we have become the symbol for martial arts education. And not just in our small core, but people in the community know that, United States Martial Arts Academy is the place to go for martial arts in San Diego. If they're looking for personal development, they know that this school is always out there. They're talking to the kids in the elementary schools. They're doing bully-proof seminars. They're giving different presentations in town. They know that they're really athletic. They've seen them doing demonstrations. They've been at ball games and seeing the school out there doing demos. They've been to small events, community events, and there's the school doing demos. They're impressed on the quality of the students. They've talked to them at promotional booths. They found out everyone is really friendly. The school's always on Facebook doing something for the community. So what we want to do is build our brand, build our name so we're attracting people. When people decide that something's happening in their life, something's out of balance, they need to get in better shape. Hey, I know that school, I know they do martial arts, but they really have a core of really strong fitness people. So just between now and the end of the year, I know we talk about this, and again, this is what we talked about last year. I think it's super, super important. It's a difference between schools that do certain events and a few people show up and schools that do events and a lot of people show up. It's a difference between like schools that get a lot of walk-in traffic and a lot of referrals. You're getting referrals because parents are talking about your school. They're seeing their kids getting the benefits. They're seeing you do the life skills, and they're connecting changes in their child behavior at school to your martial arts school. Their kids, their best friends go to your martial arts school. They would rather go to a parents' night out than go bowling with their buddies because there's more buddies at the parents' night out because you do so many activities for the kids and the kids have such a good time, they want to be there. Mom is watching classes and all of a sudden she sees other moms doing a program in your school, either martial arts, kickboxing, whatever, and she goes, wow, those people really get in shape. If I want to get in shape, I'm going to go to martial arts school. I don't need to go someplace that has someone put me on a diet because when I'm taking martial arts, the instructor's always talking about being in good shape. He's giving reminders of what to eat. In fact, when I look on the Facebook page, he's sharing different recipes and everything to stay healthy. They have a group of other parents involved in the school, and those parents are like the support team. If I go to the gym and I want to quit, they don't even know if I'm gone. If I miss a martial arts class, not only is the martial arts instructor calling me, other people in the class are going, hey, what's wrong? How come you haven't been in class? Everything okay? If you're going to do a picnic in the park and you're going to have a softball game, all the dads are out there and doing this, because the other guys in the school are so much more fun to hang around with than the people they usually hang around with. Parents are just amazed, and they tell all their friends because you sent their child a handwritten good job note. I mean, who does that nowadays? Takes the time to put pen and paper. My child got that. You did a seminar and you brought in a guest in, and everyone came down and they were so impressed. They started telling all their friends about that. Or a kid came to a birthday party and the mom goes, man, I can't believe I didn't have to do anything at all at this birthday party. I didn't have to bring the food. I didn't have to bring the tablecloth. In fact, they even sent out my invitations. They sent reminders. I just couldn't believe it. Well, that's how we want to increase in attraction. So I think a really good drill, because things are going to be a little slower between now and the end of the year, is to sit down with your team and sit down with yourself and say, what can I do before the end of the year? So I start 2019 and I'm going to increase my attraction. Now, a couple of clients I worked with yesterday, I gave them an assignment. One assignment was write down 12 ways to enroll 10 students. And one person did it, one person hasn't gotten back to me yet. So my challenge with you is write down 12 things that you can do or you can do better in 2019 for attraction. Maybe it's getting your car wrapped and putting it in shopping centers so people get your name out of there. Maybe it's doing your front windows. Maybe it's rebranding. Maybe it's changing the look of your school so it looks more professional, or the way everyone dresses so everyone looks more professional. Or, I've got a demo team, but the last time they did a demonstration was 6 months ago. So in 2019, I'm going to make sure my demo team is out there performing once a month. We're not going to miss a month. All year, we're going to be doing demos. Maybe it's doing something different on your website. I know very few people have a video on their website introducing themselves and their school to the public. I know Tom Baker's got a pretty good one. Steve DeCastillo's got a very good one. Paul Garcia's got one. When you look on their websites, all of a sudden, hey, this is Paul Garcia from America's Best Defense. I just want to introduce myself to you, make you feel welcome. This is our school. That's great. Most people don't have that. Most people don't have their mission statement or what they stand for on their website. That's really important. That should be on there. I think it should have a good biography about you on your website. So, those are things that are just going through my head on what I can do to increase attraction. So my challenge for you is over the next couple weeks, sit down, and you may just want to give this to your team too. So you write down 12 things and tell everyone, your team members, hey guys, next year we're going to do more. And we're going to do more because people are going to be attracted to us more. So I want you to give me 12 ways we can increase attraction. And give them tell them the story about the tugboat, tell them the story about the lighthouse, and then just ask them, how can we get our lighthouse to shine brighter? I remember one thing that Tom Baker did last year was before school starts early in Arizona, he just got a lot of stuff that the schools needed. He found out what the kids had to bring. Kids had to bring reams of papers and things like that. So he went out there and he spent a few $100s and he just made donations to the schools. It wasn't like, hey, we're going to do this first. No, just kind of come in. My Tom Baker and East Mesa Karate wanted a donation to the school, and here's a couple cartons of paper. So that was one of the things that he did for his attraction. So, and if you wouldn't mind, if you come up with some really good ones, send them to me, and then I'll share them with everyone else towards the end of the year. So we've got a lot of good ideas. Next week, I am not going to be on this meetings. Wife and I are doing a mission trip to Cuba. We leave on Friday. We're going to be gone for a week. So I'll send pictures and stuff like that. I'll post them on the Rainmaker Business Solutions. But I'm not going to do the meetings. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple of videos tomorrow, and I'm going to post them for next week. So you still have a couple of videos, but there won't be live meetings. Any questions, comments?
So that's all next week from Monday through Thursday?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I have fun Cuba, sir.
Thank you. We're going to make a difference. Looking forward to it.
Say,
All right.
say hello to Fidel Castro.
I'll go by his grave. All right. Everyone have a good one. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.